Hang on a minute. Manager of Portugal? What the hell happened? Oh, Jose, it's Mike. You alright? What do you mean you don't know who I am? Well, I've just seen that you're manager of Portugal. What happened at Spurs?
If I speak, I am in big trouble. So you keep trying and trying and trying and keep trying.
No, I'm not having a go. I'm not having a go. I just wondered if you saw my success in the League Cup. That means I actually won one more trophy than you did last year, didn't it?
Also mean.
Yeah, we all know.
And I won more
We know you are.
alone
Yeah.
than the other 19 managers together.
That was just rude. It's probably not going to be a lot of gameplay today, as you can imagine. 17 new players to get through. You've seen the title. But there's a Champions League draw, and you get to meet all the newcomers and all the people that are left. If you can hear that drilling, I'm terribly sorry. I might keep that in, just for comedy value in the edit. I can't believe he's manager of Portugal. He's going to be managing half my players. I wonder if we could, maybe strike a deal so that he can rest them up and not pick them for the national side. Although probably none of them would get ahead of Porto's lot anyway. But yes, viewers, welcome to Season 2 of Matching Mourinho, where we are still with Sporting Lisbon. It's been an amazing summer. I think I'm going to start with the thing I'm most proud of, which isn't just the signings, but look at the finances of what I've done. We've got £58 million in there. We are now arguably the richest Portuguese club in the country. I was going to say in the world. It doesn't really matter, because if you're a Portuguese club, you can only be in Portugal. So, well done, Mike. But consider the fact that when I took over, we were at minus 15 million. 58 million now. 58 million in terms of prize money, in terms of transfers, and I don't think the squad is any weaker for the job that I've done. Best thing is we're going to have to stay on another season next year, provided I am still manager of Sporting, and hopefully next year's budget is going to be through the roof. Although apparently next year's minimum guaranteed budget is 2.83 million. I'm doing a brilliant job keeping this club financially afloat, and this is how they're repaying me. But without further ado then, you don't want to talk about finances, do you? You want to talk about the brand new players, essentially a brand new squad that I've developed. Oh, it's going to be a long old talk. Let me have a glass of water. Riveting viewing, I know. We'll start with the big news then. The big news is that I hinted at it at the end of the last episode, but Sebastian Cuartes has gone to AC Milan. A very good player for us, no doubt about that, but at the same time, a little bit prone to errors during big games. He was the one player that I could get off of the books that had a big wage and a big fee. I managed to sell him for 14.25 million, which doesn't sound like a lot in the current kind of market, but really for what he is worth to the team, I actually think that that wasn't too bad in terms of the scale of what I'm getting in terms of value in Portugal. I think that's actually quite a good signing for Milan, and it also works for me because it's allowed me to bring in better players overall around the squad. So Sebastian Cuartes has gone. No, I bought in £36 million this summer in terms of transfers. He accommodates for quite a lot of it. The only other player I've sold, and this one I might regret, is that Valentin Rossier. Now, he has gone to Sheffield United. I managed to sell him for £9 million. He does it very good. He was at Besiktas last year. But considering the fact that I realised I've had Pedro Porro for another year on loan, there was no need to keep him in. Plus, I already signed some other right-backs thinking that I was going to lose Pedro Porro. So we're a little bit overstacked there. But to get £9 million for this guy, I think is not particularly that bad at all. Not going to be an international by any means. A decent player, but nothing I'm really going to miss out on. There's a lot of other players that have left. Antunes has gone, being 34 million. Aidan is gone. There's a lot of players that have kind of moved on from the squad that were here last year. Oh, God, I've hit the mic. But the overall thing is that we got £36 million. I can't be sat here going through every single player that I sold because I've got that many that I've signed in. So, let's begin. 3, 2, 1. We'll start off with the obvious, which is that Eric Garcia has moved here from Manchester City on a free. And you better believe that I did a lot of work in the free agent market. I signed in a lot of players that were under the Bosman ruling and brought them in. And Eric Garcia obviously is kind of like my main replacement for Sebastian Cuartes in the long run. A very, very good player. You can tell there 11 pros, 1 con. He is now the stalwart of my defence. I've signed in some younger players, which I'll quickly go through, and these ones are maybe for the future. Ivan Mihailovich, I bought him in from Bayern Munich. Looks like a potentially quite decent defender. I got him on a free, so it doesn't really cost me anything. He does look quite good. I will end up loaning him out. That is the plan. But looks potentially quite good for the future. And similar to him is a player that may well feature heavily throughout the entire series if he achieves the potential I think he's going to. And that is of Mislav Juranovic. Now, I signed him in for a modest, what was it, £2.5 million from Dynamo Zagreb. He played a little bit for their first team last year. He hasn't played for my first team because he's not good enough to quite get in, but he's already away on loan at Vizela in the second league of the Portuguese divisions. Already got 2 goals and 5 appearances. You can tell why I was attracted to him for such a low fee. Good finishing, good first touch, good passing. A very kind of creative forward, got good physicals as well, and these are increasing very quickly. This is a promising striker, could be amazing. Determination 17 already stands out, as does the aggression. I think this is a player that we might want to be keeping an eye on for the series. Looks very, very good. Okay, 2 down and only 15 more to go. We might as well start off then with a few of the loan signings. Teden Mengi, I was loaned in from Manchester United, like I said, as cover ready for centre-back and as for a right-back. Not particularly paying him that much, only 14 grand a week. It looks absolutely brilliant though. His physicals are what stood out to me really. Great pace, great acceleration. He's going to be good to kind of fall in and then be there when we're playing the high line. I think he could potentially be very, very good for me. He's got some decent technicals, nothing spectacular that's going to really wow your world or rock your world, and same really with the mentals. Got good determination, good positioning, a decent signing, but he's not really going to get that much in the way of first team time, I don't think. And you might say the same for young Troy Parrott. Now I know this is going to excite one of my subs in particular because he's been banging on about me getting him for so long. But yes, Troy Parrott has now joined the club, a well-known player really on FM that turns out to become quite the prolific goal scorer. As you can tell, he is rated at 3 stars, so he will get actually probably a bit of game time in hindsight. Played for Millwall last year, got 11 goals and 33, 1 and 3 is not bad. He's obviously going to have to step up his game a little bit if he's going to get a lot of game time this year, but he's got decent finishing, decent heading, a very good technical footballer. Physically could do a little bit better, mentally he's here, there and everywhere, but at 19 years old, plenty of potential to get very good. Never going to be Harry Kane's level, but not a bad footballer by any means. And yet again, I strengthen with Joshua Zirkzee not coming back. I've loaned in Patrick Cutrone, well known to most players on FM, especially on my channel because I've had him a few times. Physically very good, mentally very good, technically quite decent as well. He's already got 1 goal to his name in the Champions League qualifiers. He's played quite well. Still finding it hard to get ahead of Sporar, who's obviously going to be our #1 striker all the way through. You don't score 40 goals in the season and then get replaced the next year. It's just not going to happen. But at 23 years old, Italian, loaned him in from Wolves, paying him 60k a week though, so I expect some sort of goal return when I do play him. It's quite a lot of wages, and it's the one transfer I'm a little bit about. There are a couple more loan signings after this one, but they're very, very big names, so I'm going to leave them till the end. But in terms of low-key signing, that is going to be very good all the way through. This guy is one that I'm immensely excited by, and if I could sign him, I would, but there's no way I can afford him from Bayern Munich. 20-year-old Uruguayan Manuel Ugarte. Oh my god. Look at the attributes on this lad. There's double figures everywhere you look. He's pretty big. Well, he's not pretty big. He's just under 6 foot, but he's relatively strong. It's just, he's physically brilliant. Mentally exceptional at 20 years old. He's got some fantastic attributes. And then in terms of technical ability, very good as well. He's dominated pretty much every single game he's played in so far. And he might be the one player that doesn't really move from the starting lineup. To got him in on loan from Bayern and only be paying him 9.5k a week, I think is absolutely a brilliant piece of business. A brilliant piece of business. Can play anywhere in the centre of the park. Really, really strengthens our midfield. Delighted. Now, part of me is delighted that I've done this because I think it's a very left field signing, and the other part of me is horrified that I've done this. I've signed Bradley Dack. I got him on a free. Bradley Dack, very well known for being a little bit sort of off the cuff, a very good flair player. I've signed Bradley Dack. I don't really know what more I can say. Bradley Dack, Sporting Lisbon, everyone. You could also say the same about Cameron Carter Vickers. I just went on a binge because I had money and I thought I need to strengthen the squad. So I also signed Cameron Carter Vickers, 23-year-old American. Got him on a free. Looks pretty good. He's got good strength. Good for heading though, in all fairness. Like, he's a pretty tall lad. He's pretty strong. He could be quite good. Maybe. This one was a bit more of a kind of, okay, this is actually maybe a shrewd signing. And I got Lucas Nemecha in on a free as well. And you can tell here, there's a little bit kind of more method between the madness here. He's technically okay. Got a good penalty taking, which is something we're definitely going to need because of the amount we missed last year. Technique is pretty good. Mentally very good. Physically very good indeed. Can play on the right, left, and up front. A good rotation option. Obviously used to play at City, was at Anderlecht. Okay, I'm past the free signings. Andrea Sestana. Now, in terms of maybe, again, similar to Ugarte, bargain value, Andrea Sestana is excellent. Okay, he doesn't look it potentially here, but actually, when you look closer, all the attributes you need to be a very good centre-back, he has in abundance. He's got brilliant mentals at this range here. He's still only 24, so still young. Physically very good, very, very capable, quite tall as well, over 6 foot. Heading is decent, marking is decent, tackling is decent, positioning is good, determination is 16. The best thing about him is, how much did I buy him for? £700,000 for Brescia. That's literally all I signed him for, 700k. I'm absolutely delighted. I think it's an ingenious signing, and so far he's played really, really well. We're getting into the big bucks now. Wilkie Farines, a player I'm sure a lot of you are very aware of on this game. 23-year-old Venezuelan keeper. Very, very good indeed. I have to say, brought him in from Lons. I don't know why he wasn't the first team player there, although, mind you, having a look at that, he did concede 60 goals in 37 games last year. I didn't look at that. Maybe I should have looked at that before I signed him. But to be fair, ignoring that, looks amazing. I don't really know what more I can say, really. The whole idea of being at Sporting, apparently, and our whole culture is to buy in young players, improve them, sell them on. I think I can do that with this. He's already valued at $5.5 million, so as long as I sell him on for around about that and more than 1.1 million, we're in business. It's yet another right back. Lorenzo Venuti, I signed. I don't know why. Well, I knew why. It's because I thought Porro was going back and I needed 2 right backs. So obviously, yeah, I've got another right back still to come yet, but he's actually quite good. Venuti's okay. And here is the actual decent right back that I have signed as well, which sounds really horrible to Venuti. He's not bad, but neither of these guys is Pedro Porro. But I do feel that Miguelon will provide a little bit more in the way of competition. His strength, we just ignore that. He just needs to get down the gym a little bit. But everything else about him is excellent. Attacking-wise, he's brilliant. He's got very good attributes for that. Mentally is where he does excel, actually, to be fair. He's a lot better than the majority of our players in terms of his mental attributes. And physically, apart from the strength, is fine. 3 to go, and we're getting into the big guns now. So Hugo Guilemon, yeah, he is my real replacement for Cuartes. I know I signed Eric Garcia, but that was a view to this guy joining him. They're both Spanish, they're both young, could well easily be the 2 first choice Spanish centre backs going forward in the save. Hugo Guilemon is amazing. Attribute wise, insane. Physically, nuts. Quick, strong, big, everything you want. Mentally, very good as well. And technically, is good in all the right areas. And more importantly, he's 3.5 star rated to go along with Eric Garcia. And we have not conceded a goal yet in any of our competitive games this season. We've played about 6 or 7. Still yet to concede. So, yeah, I think he's a good signing. Let me know what you think. He's the one I'm really excited about, as well as Ugarte. And the 2 coming up. Because I went to the loan list, and it would be impossible to go to the loan list, see Gabriel Martinelli, and not think, I want me some of that. Yes, he's injured all the time, but for the games that he does play, he's so worth it. He can play everywhere across the front. He can play as a striker, he can play as a left mid, he can play as a right mid, he can play as a number 10. He's exceptionally quick, as you can tell, with 16 acceleration, 14 pace. He's got very good mentals, and technically he's only going to get better. Still 20 years old. Arguably one of Arsenal's brightest young talents, and I'm really lucky to have him in. But Arsenal's brightest young talent, arguably, is also here. And yes, if that did not give the game away, Bukayo Saka. I've signed him in on loan. Same with Martinelli, and I've abused the loan market terribly, but I just don't care, because Bukayo Saka is just, just drink it in. Drink it in how good this kid could be. I mean, he's got fantastic physicals already. Yes, he's a bit weak, but it's the pace that I've injected into the team this year. We've got so much more rapid pace on this side. He can play anywhere as well. Left back, left mid, right mid. I'm probably going to be able to play him as number 10. I could probably play him as a goalkeeper if I wanted, and he'd still be pretty decent. Mentally great, technically great. Absolutely ecstatic that I've got Bukayo Saka. Cannot believe it. And that's it. I think I've literally got everyone in that list. So you can tell there I spent a whopping £14 million. Guilemon took up nearly half of that, with £6.25 million of it. And then brought in 36 million, which resulted obviously in the wonderful finances that we've had. In terms of how we've been getting on, like I said, we haven't conceded in 6 competitive games. We've beaten some Grouts, we've beaten Galatasaray very comfortably, and now we're into the Champions League group stage, which we'll get onto in a minute. But the opening start of the season didn't go particularly that well. We drew with Famalicão 0-0, and I have to say, I was a bit irritated. When you look at the stats, yeah, you can see why I'd be irritated. We also hit the post twice, so just one of those games. Always good to see Zoblin there playing at a 7.9. I thought, don't start this. But then, fortunately, we went beat Tondela 3-0 at home in the league as well, which has got off to a decent start. Goncalves, Santos. You can tell now that lineup looks so much stronger. So I think we're in a pretty good place. I don't think we're going to have time to play Santa Clara because of how long I've been rambling on about the transfers. I've tried to keep it brief, but I'm sure you can understand that I've got a lot of signings to be making through. So the excitement today, other than obviously meeting the new signings, is going to be coming from this draw here. Okay, we're in pot 3, which isn't awful, but there's some big names there in pot 4. I mean, look in pot 4, you've got Valencia, Milan, Gladbach, Monaco, Braga, Bruges, Istanbul, and Young Boys. We're in there with a few other teams. I arguably think pot 3 is actually weaker than pot 4, not including ourselves, obviously. But then you got the big guns. So we'll quickly whiz through then and then just see what's happening, because we're not going to be out till pot 3. So let's see what groups are available and what ones we don't want to get. Preferably all of them. So Porto got Barcelona, hooray! Which is good. So we can't be in that group. PSG and Dortmund isn't one I'd particularly like. I wouldn't like Atletico and Liverpool either. City and Salzburg, maybe. Not United and Madrid. United won the Champions League last year, apparently. Bayern and Shakhtar, maybe. Ajax and Chelsea, or Lyon and Juve. I mean, there are some horrible groups in there. I really, really don't want Atletico and Liverpool or PSG and Dortmund. The rest I can cope. I don't particularly want United and Real Madrid either, but the rest I could cope with. Atalanta got PSG and Dortmund. That's good. Not this one, please. That is a horrible group. Atletico, Liverpool, Inter Milan. Bloody hell. Copenhagen got United and Real Madrid. This is good for me then. So any of these other 3 groups, I'm not too worried about. Bayern and Shakhtar. Okay. Zenit get Ajax and Chelsea. Leverkusen get Juve and Lyon. So who's the last one then? Okay, I mean we've got some tough games there. We can't get Braga, so we've got a choice of Valencia, Milan, or Young Boys. None of those are going to be easy. Braga get Real Madrid and United. Milan. So we're going to be playing Sebastian Cuartes. You just knew it, didn't you? You bastards. You just knew it. It's not out of the realms of possibility of us getting out of that. I think it's safe to say Bayern will win the group. But we could probably beat Milan and Shakhtar, I think. And that is actually where we're going to come back thinking about it. So it's our first Champions League game of the series. And it's at home to Bayern Munich. I don't believe it. We're going to be playing in the meantime then. We'll come back for that game, obviously, and the game against Belenese. Sad, because I owe them after what they did to me last year with the drew, because it did make me sad. So we'll come back and we'll play that game as well. Lots to look forward to here, though. I mean, that's a very difficult load of games. We've got a lot of games to get through. But I'm looking forward to the challenge. I hope that all you are too. Let me know what you guys think of my transfers down in the comment section. Have I overcooked it, or do you reckon we're on to a bit of a winner with some of those signings? But thanks so much for watching this episode of Matching Mourinho, the start to Season 2. I hope that you have enjoyed it. Of course, if you have, then please do drop a like on the video, share, and subscribe. Come back for more. Come back for our first game of the Champions League. We'll be taking on Bayern Munich. Easy. And until I see you there, take care of yourselves and stay cool. Nearly forgot what to say. What an idiot.